My memory for the day. Today is August 6th. This is day 31. My memory for today is winning the second Twisted Metal 2 tournament. Uh, there were a couple of years there in the 90s, uh, maybe even the early 2000s. I don't remember when I stopped. Where the video game Twisted Metal 2, just dominated our playtime. I mean, it was just. If you've never played Twisted Metal 2, you know, it's a great car battle game. Um, different, a number of different arenas that you could go battle in. You could either battle as a team in campaign mode or single player in campaign mode, or you could play heads up and go against each other. You could randomize lands. You could randomize your car selection. Every car had different different speeds, different weaponry, different armor, different kinds of weapons. So and you could pick up weapons. It's a great game, great game. TK and I would play it for hours. I mean, just hours. We made Twisted Metal 2 drinking games. Um, and we became really proficient at Twisted Metal 2. And on two different occasions, we had a large group of people gathered everyone together for the Twisted Metal tournament of blood. And one of our friends had constructed a. This is back again. This is back before you had game links, and back before you had, you know, uh, uh, massive MMP games. You know, there was no internet play like that for Twisted Metal 2. So he constructed a box that actually fit right around the TV. This was also before the time of flat screen TVs. So these were all your standard box cube TVs. And he had constructed a box that would slide around the outside of the TV, and directly in the middle there was a slot where you could slide another board. It was all painted black, and you could slide the board directly up against the glass, so that your screen would be divided into two sides, so that if you sat on one side or the other side, you could not see your opponent. And one of the a couple of the options you could do is you could switch the screen so that it was divided so that you could it was left and right so you couldn't see anything, and then you could turn off your radar. You could turn off the radar of everybody so that it didn't show you where your opponent was. You had to look and try to spot them and find out. So it kind of added to the nowadays the sniping effect or the creeper effect. Strategy, being able to you if you just ran around wildly, you were going to get picked off. There was strategy involved, and the first tournament was won by our friend Dave Stefano. Um, he went. I can't remember what it was, but I think it was a round robin thing. He went like 7-1, and he was the champion. The second tournament, which I'll never forget, not only because I won it, but because we had a ton of people come over who were not playing. They weren't even interested in playing the game. They were just there to watch. And so we had my room, which we called the Big Room, and that's why we have Big Room Entertainment on Twitch here as well. My room was a large room. It was a large, you could easily fit 30, 35, 40 people into it. And so there were 10 of us all playing uh, Twisted Metal 2, and everybody else was there watching us. And and TK and I played. Nobody beat either one of us the entire way through. The only person that beat either one was the other, and that was me beating TK. Um, and it was this. I think we still have it on VHS somewhere, but it was this epic fight on one of the lands that was New York City. And when you were playing in New York, you were fighting entirely on rooftops. Um, so anywhere that you were, you had the chance, if you drove off the edge, of falling to your death, and you would lose. And it was always best out of three. And we had this matchup where I was Mr. Grimm. It was all random cars. I got hit with Mr. Grimm. And T had Axel. And Mr. Grimm is a motorcycle. He's very fast. Uh, has a very powerful weapon that shoots in a straight line, but if it hits you, it does massive damage. And he had no armor whatsoever. And then T had Axel, who was a larger vehicle, average speed, average armor, and a weapon that was a area effect weapon, where if you activated it, anybody around the vehicle was damaged. And it was also great for ramming people. If it rammed someone, it did massive damage. And we had this showdown in New York City, which, if I could find the video of it and share it, you'd see why it's my memory. But we had we had one scene where we were chasing each other. There was one scene where T was chasing me. We were both turboing it, going super fast, and we were on top of one building. I ran from him because I knew I can't fight him right now. I don't have a special weapon. I have no weapon. He's too powerful. I drove right off the edge, fell down to a building that I knew was there. T followed me. I raced right towards another building, a wall, and then you could do a special up left or something like that. I can't remember up left or something that would make your vehicle kind of speed racer Mach 5 jump. You jump right off the ground, and raced right towards the wall. And it was a very tricky one because it was a double layer parking garage type thing that you were on. So if you jumped too soon, you jumped up and just hit the ceiling and was pummeled down to the ground and fell between the buildings. And you had to time it perfect. Very few people could do it. And I jumped up, did it. T followed me. We heard the whole audience, the whole people behind us, just like, oh, just like scream. This, I can't believe that just happened. And I spun. I landed on the building, rotated midair 180, drove backwards. T is coming right at me. I know I'm about to go off the wall. As I'm going, my power comes back. I hit it. Boom. Shoot straight ahead. As I drive backwards off the wall, falling to my death, the skull, my power thing, hits T, kills him, and he dies before I hit the ground. And the crowd went crazy, and I wound up winning it, and I went as 9-0 Laszlo as the victor, and that will always be one of my fun, hilarious, exciting memories. And Twisted Metal 2. It's one of the best games from the 90s ever, really. And if you haven't had a chance to play it, get out there and play it. Twisted Metal 3, not as good. The original Twisted Metal, not as good. Any Twisted Metal since Twisted Metal 2, not as good. Twisted Metal Black, none of them. Twisted Metal 2, best. And that's it. That's my memory.